ooh, that dress so scandalous, and you know another nigga can't handle it, so you sick of that thing like who's the ish with a look at your eyes so devilish. You look at the dance to the hip hop spots, so you cruise to the cruise, then connect the dots, and then the just surf, and he liked the pop because she was living la vida loca.
She had dumps like a truck. That's like what? Baby, move your butt. I think I'll sing it again. She had dumps like a truck. That's like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Love it when your booty go whoa ha ha, whoa ha, whoa ha, whoa ha ha, whoa ha, whoa ha ha ha, whoa ha ha. Whoa ha, whoa ha, whoa ha, whoa ha, whoa ha ha.
She had dumps like a truck. That's like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Make your booty go, baby.
You know I didn't want to do this fucking song. You know. You know I did it.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Black Show About Nothing Is Jaded XD. Oh God. I'm your host XD, and I'm here with
Jade. I don't have no AKA this week. I was gonna be Cisco something, but I don't think I want to.
Oh, Big, you can't top Big Addy. Big Addy took me down last week.
It was a good one.
God.
It was a good one. Might have to put that on merch.
Yeah, Big Addy.
Big Addy.
Oh my gosh. We need to figure out how we can get on dragqueenmerch.com.
Oh wow. What do we have? Yeah.
We should have a booth at DragCon.
How do we make that happen? Does RuPaul run that too?
No, you know she does.
Okay, so we're never getting in. We've talked too much shit at this point.
I know. Did you see the Simone cover of Out Magazine juxtaposed to RuPaul's Out cover from '93?
No.
Go look on Simone's Instagram. I want to tell you, Simone, on Drag Race season 13, when they did them final interviews and she was talking to RuPaul, I was like, it was RuPaul talking to herself.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a girl, Divas. Oh, wait a minute. Well, let me put this on my stories. My mother better not message me either. You know, she loves to be like, who's that? I'm like, girl, go away, girl. I love that.
I did that too. I think I posted like a Simone picture. And my mother was like, is that your friend? I'm like, I was like, no. You know, she's so like pleasant and like a Black Mary Poppins and shit. She's like, what's your friend?
That is so funny to me because your mom is so sweet. I could just hear it.
Did I tell you when she walked into my live and I was saying raw is law? She happened to be in there.
What did she say?
Oh my. Well, so a couple of days later, I was talking to her on the phone. And she was like, I accidentally clicked on it, but I clicked right out. You know, I didn't want to, I didn't know if you were talking about anything inappropriate. I didn't want to step. I was like, okay, I appreciate that. But I was just like,
so she didn't hear your raw as love it.
No,
if she did, she pretended like she did.
Like she did, yeah.
Ooh, that's so Black parent.
Yeah, that's, like homosexuality. She's good at pretending.
They're either going to be real hateful about it or they're going to pretend it don't exist.
That's very Christian.
That's his friend. His friend's coming with him this Christmas.
How was your week?
How was your week? It It was good. It was a good productive week. I have a special drop next week, so make sure you all stay tuned and listen very closely. And so I have something coming for you really fun next week. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm only putting that out there because I want you all to pay attention. So just stay tuned. 11/11. So it's been a very productive week, just, gearing up for very many things, that everybody's going to see in the next couple of days, actually. So a lot of fun projects. We got some bonus episodes with Target that have been coming out. And, I just been over here at this page. I've been Patreon hopping, you know what I'm saying? Back and forth and, momming and all of that good stuff. So I'm excited for everything that you guys that's gonna unfold in the next couple of days.
Yeah, that's good. You're busy and things.
Yeah, I'm busy and ting.
You're pretty. You're a model. You're Linda Evangelista.
I mean, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Very soon, everybody will be able to get in Jade's pits. So, how was your week?
It was hectic.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make the impossible happen. With very special thanks to Chris Rogers.
Yes,
but made it happen, and you guys will get to all see it on November 10th. I am premiering. I don't even know if I can tell the title of my project.
Well, if
I
you don't
think
know,
so,
then you should.
they're very, they're very secretive about it. But the link is in the description to RSVP. You can see it virtually. It'll be on November 10th at 6 p.m.
Okay, perfect.
You get to see my film project and a bunch of other people's film projects too, but
yes,
mine specifically.
Coalition. And I saw XD's project, and it's wonderful, actually. So yes, November 10th and November 11th. You all got 2 dates to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Very
and also
exciting.
by the time you're listening to this, I will be in the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You going to Disneyland.
Yeah. It's literally, I've not gone since I was 18. It's like one of my favorite places.
I think we should ditch school and go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
You're serious?
Yeah.
No.
We're going to Disneyland again.
I told my mother today. She was like so sad. She was like, "Oh man."
I know. I kind of feel the same way. I'm low key hating.
Yeah.
That nigga wants to ride rides.
And Disneyland is my speed. There's no loop-de-loops outside that Tower of Terror shit, but I just don't do that. But there's no it's
Wait, so they're like
suitable auntie rides.
Oh, I was about to call them something else. Sorry.
What were you gonna call them?
You know what I was gonna call them?
What were you gonna call them?
Just take a gander, nigga.
I'm inquiring for the audience. What were you going to say?
I was gonna call them bitch rides, nigga. I was gonna call them bitch rides. And you knew I was gonna call them bitch rides.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Exactly. Let it out your heart.
Well, it's fine because XD used to be the designated purse holder when we went to Six Flags.
I sure the fuck was, and I enjoyed my funnel cake. Goddamn it.
He did.
It was delicious. I did get on a ride though.
You got on a ride.
I did get on a ride. I got on the Green Hornet, and I think that's why I have permanent nerve damage in my neck to this day. Because it was whipping my head back and forth.
Now,
you know what I mean?
While I'm over here talking shit, I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is not a safe space, but oh well. So, as age starts to, increase, your nerves decrease. And I realized that I have not been to Six Flags in so long that I honestly don't know how my body is going to react to those rides because, we just took Noah down to the Luna Park at Coney Island.
Mm.
If me me and Tristan get on all the rides with her. And let me tell you something, like that big ship that swings and all kinds of shit, your stomach gets to dropping. And me and Tristan was like, nigga, this don't hit the same as it used to. And then we both was like, but these are some bitch ass rides. Why does my stomach doing this?
Yeah.
It just ain't. Them loops, they get shallower, but something about them still feels deeper.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna still ride the rides at Six Flags, and I might have a heated seat moment, but I'm gonna test it out though.
Okay.
You know why not? I just won't eat no corn dogs beforehand or something.
That's smart.
Thank you.
That's smart. But yeah, Disneyland is where my speed. They don't have, it is not bitch rides. They are just, they're fun for the
Not
entire
you waiting all this time to say that. Like you made the goddamn
Because-
rides. Not you being offended like you engineered and architectured these motherfucking rides, nigga. These bitch rides.
Who you calling a bitch?
Don't you love when people get offended about shit they didn't have nothing to do with? Like, it is good. I'm like, did you make it, bitch? Relax. All I said was these Cheez-Its is dry, bitch. You ain't the Bisco hoe. Get to sit the fuck down.
But still, they're fun for the entire family.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Anywho, if you want to see this week's episode in video form ad-free, you can log on to patreon.com/JadenXD and pay for the $7 holla. And you can access this and 300 plus posts of audio and visual content. Oh gosh. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and which is also free, to support us. Yeah. That's it, I think.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Because I got a text message that almost made me choke.
Oh no.
You know
Oh,
what?
boy.
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you to everybody who bought the Jade of all Jades in and Jar collaboration. Soap set is sold out, but we have more coming today at noon today. So if you're listening to this today morning, it'll be out at noon
Come on,
Eastern
today
time.
morning.
It'll be out at noon Eastern Standard Time. There will be more boxes for you. And with that being said, let's take a break and we'll come back with some other shit. Hit it, Clyde! After these messages, we'll be right back.
Is it possible to understand everyone at a deep and meaningful level? To get what really matters to people, no matter how different they are from you? That proposition sounds a little absurd.
And we're black. Today, we are doing cousin jams. Mm-hmm. We haven't done a jams episode in a long periodically time,
I know.
and I know
We just
since
been talking.
we've been changing to NPR, like nigga public radio.
That is what we are. I say we just make the cousin jams into. We still make them NPR. I didn't even make no list. I'm gonna just think of them off the dome.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say this could be like 106 nigga jams. You remember Orangey and Purple?
Yeah. Look at what I got, bitch. I got this motherfucking chicken biscuit. Chicken on a biscuit. Biscuit. Bitch. No one's going to watch that in so many years and be like, this is fucking stupid. Oh, my God.
Yo. Oh, go ahead.
All right. So, more proud parenting moments. So, Noah, you know, she likes roasts. Like, that's her shit. Blame Dustin. So her and her friends been roasting each other at school, like for fun. That's what they're doing. And I'm like, yes, I love like when black children, like, you know, just fall in line. So
Yeah, that's good, honest, clean fun.
it is. And, you know, just a healthy roast. So she comes home. She's like, I just need some roast jokes. You know what I'm saying? We're like, because, you know, she's not at that age yet where the real good ones come off the dome. Like, they still repeating what they hear and shit. Right. So she's like, I'm going to look at YouTube for some roast jokes. Well.
She gonna turn into Wallace.
Oh, yeah. Minus the murder. So she was I have mommy and daddy, we ride in the car. We go to Melissa Greg's house. She goes, mommy and daddy. I said, what? She said, I have one, but it's kind of bad. And so we were like, okay, well, say it to us first so we can tell you if you can say it at school or not.
Oh, God.
She said, somebody's gonna say that is not funny. Your ass is jealous because of all the shit coming out of your mouth. And be interested. Both are like, ah!
Oh my gosh.
What's that? So we said, where you get that? Where did you get that? Because she not like, she's very open with us. She's very honest with us. She gonna tell us before she gonna tell a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I appreciate that.
She's like, that's the kind. So we don't try to freak out over shit because it's like, no, nigga, because then you gonna be acting all secretive like a little rat when you could just say it at home and then be like, all right, we got you, but like we gotta figure out how to do this. So. We couldn't help it. We both bust out laughing. And then we was like, wait one more year before you say that. Well, just one more. You can be 9, just not 8.
Yeah, you gotta wait till that's third grade. That's third grade material.
This level to
Yeah. That's really 5th grade material, honestly. That was elevated and crafted.
Oh no, I'm telling you. No, because the first time I heard my little sister really get busy on somebody, I think she was like 2nd or 3rd. I think it was 3rd grade. And that's when, you know, I stood back and I was like, oh, yes. Good. So, you know, she's getting it honest. She's getting it honest.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad her friends aren't as, I don't want to be glad that they aren't as sensitive because it's rude. But, you know, I'm glad that her friends are accepting, I'm glad that her friends are welcoming, you know. I'm educated. There is a space that has been created for them to be themselves and engage in black girl, black boy, black they, them joy.
Yeah, that's it. You know, roasting is a rite of passage in the black community. That's just what we do. And, you know, if you come to me and, that's not nice for us to be insulting one another. But that's what we've been doing forever, bitch. It is funny.
Yeah, Cousin James.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we're at.
Oh, yeah, let me think of one. You go first. You have any fun cousin stories to accompany your jams?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I could tell you. Oh, there's stories that go along with every story. So we're gonna be here for a sec.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn.
Be real. It's got to be real.
So, when I was a kid, when my aunt was alive, my favorite Aunt Carla, she like it used to come on a lot because my mother and they're like best friend sisters, and they played like the R&B jams, the Luther Anita, standard black auntie shit,
right?
Yeah, and so. That would come on the radio station a lot, and so I used to imitate Cheryl Lynn's. Like, I can't do it now because I smoke, but I had used to imitate it, and so I'm like, God, who would have thought I should have been into drag back then? Because that's exactly what the fuck I was doing.
Real.
Yeah, but I used to imitate like literally, and I used to have the mic from Starlight Record.
Oh yes,
from Jim.
Oh yes.
So
did you see Jim on this week's episode of Methy Jim? She was on this week's episode of Love After Lockup.
Who?
Just think about it. If Jim and
Renata.
Yep. I said.
I thought you were talking.
Like Jim picked up a little habit, Putney Road.
I thought you were talking about fucking Scarlett Harlot from Drag Race UK.
No,
remember I said she gave Jim from the hologram.
She does give Jim from the holograms. This lady gave Jim Gone South. Jim Down Bad. Recovery Jessica. Jerica Benton. That was her name, Recovery Jerica Benton. That's gonna be her name in this review after we record it. Yeah, Jerica. Yeah. So, sorry.
But yeah, Got to Be Real.
Okay. Let me see. What's my first one?
Got to be real. Got to be real.
We're gonna go with Luther's Don't You Know.
I used to doubt every girl that I'd meet. I thought that nobody could knock me off my feet.
Don't you know that?
Don't you know that? Don't you know? That's one of my favorite Luther songs. But the reason I picked that song, this is a very problematic little story, but it's also shows you that kids don't know shit. I was like 5 or 6, and it's the 90s, nigga. And my cousin, the 80s, 90. It's like 90. And I got big cousins who are ignorant niggas. And so I remember we were standing outside. And this is how they tried to taunt me. I'm so glad we've come far as a community. They was like, I was singing a Luther Vandross song because I was Noah. And they gonna tell me, Luther Vandross gay. And I was like, no, he's not. They was like, yes, he is. Luther Vandross is gay. And I was like, no, he's not. And I didn't even know what the fuck that meant. I didn't know what it meant. I just
see how pervasive
you see how
homophobia is because you assume that it was bad.
That's why I told that story, because I want them to see how far we've come as a people, in which it shouldn't automatically go to that direction. That should never be where your mind goes.
Exactly.
You see how they try to fuck
you were defending him just like an auntie.
Mm-hmm. I sure was, because they refused. Because as soon as I hit about 8, I was like, yes, he is.
Absolutely.
Once I figured out what it was, I was like, oh, yeah.
Do you know we have a new date outside of, first it was January 6th. Now it's November 2nd.
What the hell happened now?
You haven't been on the internet today?
No.
So QAnon believes that JFK Jr., who died in 1999, is going to resurrect from, I don't know, hell, and be here to lead America henceforth. And he will appear at the site where his father, former President John F. Kennedy, was assassinated.
It's alive. It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Hold on. I just gonna send this little tweet real quick.
And there are crowds.
Now, what's
about
this I hear now about Jesus, Franklin, Kennedy?
Nutmeg ganache.
Nutmeg ganache. Nutmeg ganache. I can't type because I can't. I'm going to CC you on this because you added to it.
Oh my God.
Xavier Delow. Okay, I tweeted you.
Oh, I see.
Wait, now tell me more about this.
Oh, that was it. There are crowds right now outside
Where?
waiting at downtown Dallas where he was assassinated.
Oh,
where
in
JFK was
Dallas.
assassinated.
I was like,
Yeah.
where they at? Because I ain't seen them. They not in Brooklyn.
Yeah. No, they're in Dallas.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
I have a good mind to text somebody that I know who knows somebody that went QAnon to ask them, do you know where this nigga is right now?
Is it someone you're related to?
Again!
Score!
My fucking ear. Woo. Woo. Wait a minute, but I'm
Yeah.
texting though.
Yeah. Like, QAnon is ridiculous in general. But, like, that one, that one is wild. And even then, like, the Kennedys were, like, fake liberals. So why would they
Right,
want
I was very
them to run
confused
with
by where you
Trump?
were going with this.
Yeah. They have, like, banners printed, like, real professional ones, like, for real. And it's the one that has Trump and JFK Jr. on it, 2024.
Wow.
Any minute now, the big reveal. The crowd is big, ready to go.
That doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. None of it.
Oh my
And it's
God.
not like, like he was like we know he's dead.
Of course we do. But QAnon is, again, You can't argue with nobody from there. You cannot argue with people like
Like
that.
he never came out with a whole rap album and had a whole rap career after he died.
I know.
So,
He wasn't
like-
popping up in the Bahamas and in Cuba. Like,
Right, so I don't have that theory to lean on that he may or may not still be alive
No.
in a South American nation.
no.
But you know, so they have to let that theory rest.
He's not
because
even
it just
shy.
isn't-
He's not
No,
even like.
not at all.
He's not even shy. Who's still alive? But I question. for
Well, who's a
second.
diplomat?
I know. And he dresses like he does taxes.
Ain't that some shit?
Right? You saw him with them baggy processor pants on.
I'm like, ooh, you look like you're a CPA.
He looked like he'd do health inspections around the city. Woo, okay, it's your
I
turn.
wonder if I could tell that story. I'll tell that story.
What story?
Remember I told you that work story about when I had that lady that called me?
Refresh my
I don't know
mind.
if I should tell this now.
Why? It's always a.
Well, because I don't necessarily plan on going back to working
no.
there,
That's why I'm like,
right?
what you're not going back there. So
But I know that they have to be a listener now that I know. But
I flat out told
I'll
stories.
save it
about,
for Patreon.
Damn.
I'll save it for Patreon.
You should say it now and make Abe cut it out.
Okay, Abe, cut it out, but
we're
I'm gonna
on
leave it here
Patreon.
for Patreon users right now.
And I'm
okay.
gonna blow my nose.
After these messages.
So, remember when I used to work for the city, or when I was at that company right before I quit, and I had to get prepared for that building in the Bronx, and so there was this black girl at HPD. Watch her be a patron. Oh God, so like who is just a straight like. She showed her creative uniqueness, nerve, and talent every time. Like interaction, like me and Alexis, like we hated her. Like she was just a straight up like douche monkey, just for no fucking reason.
No.
Like and I think it
She
had
ain't
a
no
lot to do
patron.
with like, and so and I think it had a lot to do with like, I hate when people like feel the need to assert themselves in places because they feel like, I understand like you need to like take no guff or whatever, but there's also you don't need to be a fucking cunt to anybody too, you know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
So I got so mad at her, like she was a bi. So then I go on Twitter and I was like, I need to complain to HPD because there's this bitch on here who's driving me crazy, blah blah blah. I don't at her name. I don't at HPD. I don't at anybody. The next day, I get a phone call on my office phone from that lady who is the deputy director of HPD. I don't know if she's still there now. I'm sure she is. I don't know. They never fire government employees.
No, they don't. They should.
She was like, "So, am I the one you want to write a complaint about?" Like that was the first thing out of her mouth.
I would have been like, yeah.
I say, hello, and I say my name, and she's like, so am I the one you want to write a complaint about? So I was so shocked. I instantly lied. I was like, no.
Oh no.
She was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. Well, because I didn't want my job to be like in jeopardy. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't doing this full time. Like, well, yes, I was, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I wasn't prepared then.
All right.
So I was like, so I ran and told my my supervisor, but they were white, so they didn't really give a fuck. So
I just got one question, lady. Oh, by the way, Abe, leave all of that in.
fine, you can leave it in. You can leave it in. I don't care.
Lady, why you was being a bitch? Okay, and then don't be weird.
Like nobody likes her. Like everybody, like nobody likes her. Like it is. Watch me be in the fucking news in New York because or whatever talking about her. She's gonna find whatever. But like, she was just mean and not pleasant.
Okay, so you're not finna get mad at me because I'm telling the truth about you. If you mean and bitchy, then you was mean and bitchy, and you need to own that shit, because when niggas call it out, that's what it was. You was mean and bitchy, right? So be standing your mean and bitchiness, bitch.
Right. And I know her coworkers and they don't like her because she's like, but you know, man. Anywho.
I told you about that bitch I used to work with. I hated that hoe. I hated her so much. I came to work on the very last day that I was going to work there with sweatpants and a hoodie on. And I was like, just in case, because I don't like this bitch. And she knows I don't like her. I can't hide that. If that lady would have called me, I would have been like, you knew it was you. Why are you calling me? You wasted your time and mine right now. I don't like you and you don't like me. Get off my phone.
Yeah. I've been sitting on like a canon of work stories because I wasn't able to talk about them for so long.
Come on, sit on my couch, nigga. Talk to me.
We could talk about work stories now. We could talk about Cousin Jams another time.
Yeah. Fuck that playlist.
Okay, fine.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? We have sort of a problem here. Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more.
So let me tell you about the time that I saw a resident give a cop a black eye.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, well, actually, yeah, there's so many instances that I have with cops dealing like. So before this is my full-time job, if you're a new listener or whatever, I used to be a social worker and I used to work in a facility, a transitional care facility for people who had dual diagnoses, right? Mm-hmm. So that was a real professional answer. Anywho, remember there was a K2 outbreak, and niggas in Brooklyn was slumped, and they used to have that deli that's at Myrtle Broadway at the J Stop that's on the corner, and that's where everybody used to get like the shit. All the K2 was coming in and out of there.
Right by the Popeyes.
Where I used to, so I used to work at the Lower East Side, where it has a lot of shelters and facilities like that. So they would walk across the bridge or they would hop somewhere to get on the J train if they weren't going to pay for it, get the shit at the K2, and then come back to Manhattan. And the thing is, because it was back then, it was easier to get K2 than it was weed, because the K2 was technically legal-ish, right?
Right.
So, like, they would come back slumped. So there was this one person. Let's call them Lorraine.
What? You ain't like my name choice.
No, I had to. No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
It's like the other week. I forgot what you said. I was like, I fucking hate that so much. Go ahead.
So
okay, let me take another stab at it then.
Okay.
Helena.
No. She black. She just got an old name.
Okay, fine. Lorraine, then fine, nigga.
So Lorraine did that exact same thing, walked across the bridge and came back.
Okay.
So she also had a friend named David.
Okay.
And David is also the one that threw the knife at me. So right. So her and David came into a whole bunch of money. And so David and Lorraine, they became best buds, and they went out on the town. They painted the East Village red.
Okay.
And they came back with not only the K2, but some dust on top of it.
Okay.
So they were gone. So not only, and keep in mind, these are people who take psych medications, right? So not only are you on psych meds, you're also on K2 and you're also on angel dust.
Jesus Christ.
Lorraine, now I have seen Lorraine high before, and she has like the strength of like 1,000 suns.
Oh, that's
so
because
I'm like,
drugs are like, they are like,
and I've seen her sober, and she has the same strength. So I've never seen her on this many drugs. So I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be litty. So we had to call like the police to like get her like emotional distress call because she needed to go to the hospital because she was having a moment. Let's call it that, right?
Okay, all right, yeah.
And so the police came, 1-2 people. And my supervisor was like, "You don't need more." And mind you, Lorraine is like the size of Mary Agnes from Sister Act 1, the little petite one that can sing.
Yeah, well, we found out later on she wasn't really singing.
So, my supervisor was like, "You're gonna need more than that." So, the cop was like, he was like some, a New York police officer. He thought he was cuter than he really was. And, and his partner was this Latina lady. She was kind of, like, again, overexerting herself because she felt like she was, in a male-dominated industry that she needed to be more than what she really needed to be. And also because she was a cop and how... another Patreon discussion about the name tags, and you know what I mean. So... yeah. So,
wait, why does that have to be Patreon? Is that problematic?
No, we can't. Yeah, it is a problematic conversation.
Oh, is it?
It is. So, okay. So listen. So we had to keep Lorraine contained in a room because she was very destructive. And she like ruined thousands of dollars worth of like electronic equipment in this particular room. So for her to not to do anything else, we just have to keep her in there.
Oh,
so
okay, fair.
The police come. They're like, "Oh, we can't do anything. Like she's just on drugs. That she hasn't done anything." Well, okay, fine.
Okay.
So they try talking to Lorraine, and Lorraine is like, "I'm fine. Leave me alone." And don't touch me. And so the cop was like, "All right, fine, I won't touch you." And so Lorraine was like, "You're thinking about touching me." Like,
she ain't lying.
Oh God. And he was like, no. And so like they turn around, they start to leave. I'm like, okay, 5, 4, 3. All of a sudden, the male cop comes back and he was like, "Honey, it's going to be okay." And touches her on the shoulder. When I tell you, Lorraine, it was almost like, in Salt, how or in The Matrix, where it's like almost like a robot comes on and it's like some like, so it's like her face like drained of life and she turned into like this robot and she took his head and bashed it into the desk.
'Cause she set fire to Lorraine.
Yeah. And so the lady cop couldn't call for backup and couldn't hold her either. It took 10 officers to take Lorraine out in a body bag.
Wait, what?
And she kept, because they don't do quote unquote straight jackets anymore. So they put you in a bag of sorts. But they have like this breathable window, and so Lorraine kept like spitting through it. She was like, "Fuck you, cracker!"
Oh, speaking of multiple cops, let me see if that ceramics place is still in business.
I have, yeah. Then there was the time that gosh, there's so many. Oh, pick a day. Pick a topic, like the time.
Baked in Brooklyn is permanently closed.
Oh, is that where you had Tristan's birthday thing?
Noah's, where they called them
Noah's
6
thing.
cops on me.
Oh yeah.
Actually, let me see if they still got a voicemail. Because even though if they out of business, they still got a voicemail. I said, that's what the fuck y'all get. Let's see.
Are you gonna troll them on the phone?
Absolutely.
Number you dialed is not in service.
Even better. Wow. I really am full of magic. Okay, so keep going.
Okay. Okay, keep going. There's more. Reveal. A lot of it was structural. So, like, a lot of times working in nonprofit, there's a lot of things you can't talk about or you let slip past because of the name of nonprofit and the work that you do. So, like, me and a very well-known influencer and media personality used to work for the same company.
Mm-hmm.
And so at one point we worked in the same office. And so we shared a supervisor who was white. And he was one of those people who were like, you know, just trying to fit in. You know what I mean? Like, just kept stumbling over their toes trying to, like, fit in.
Okay.
So there would be on more than one occasion where he would make like racial type things, but it'd be like not enough to like remember, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So one day, me and my coworker friend, we were talking literally about work. Mm-hmm. Like one of the few times we were talking about work, and we happen to be laughing because it's also like right after that. I think I may have mentioned where the SWAT team came upstairs and they found the crack den in the apartment building that I was in. We talking about work. Here comes Mr. White Man. Are you guys gonna get lunch today? You know they just opened a Popeyes right by the train stop. Now, exactly true. What? So like me and my friend looked at each other like, nigga, we was talking about like trauma response. Like it just happened to be like what we're talking about. We were laughing, but like, and nigga, it was 11:30.
How did you all respond?
We just looked at him like, you know how like that gif of like Puffy and that boy or that person, and they just staring back at each other. And yeah, and we just kind of just looked at him, and he looked at us, and looked at him, and looked at us, and then he just kind of walked away and went into the back office.
You don't get to walk away.
He got fired right after that.
Okay, good. I'm not gonna get rowdy with you, but you got to be like, now why would you be telling me that now? I want you to answer, and you're gonna answer me, because when you start skating around, I'm gonna keep asking you the same question over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would make you think I would want to know that?
And someone asked me on Instagram to tell, like, you know, if I had any leads about like social work in New York or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know if I mean, I guess so, but like I worked in nonprofit, and like I don't ever want to deter people from like working in the industry and changing people's lives, because that's definitely needed. But definitely be prepared for the bullshit that you're gonna have to deal with. Like I had to. Like, this company also violated, like, hella OSHA violations. Like, I had to clean up vomit. I'm not OSHA trained. I worked in an environment where, like, you know, them office ceilings that you said I have in my little vestibule in my apartment? Mm-hmm. There was rats in the ceiling. And so they used to, like, come, like, Clydesdale horses, like...
Oh, yeah, because rats gallop.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, speaking of which, woo, this is an ugly episode because we aired some
Yeah, it
niggas
is.
out. So, did I ever tell the story on here of the health violation at the restaurant that Tristan and I met at?
No.
Well, now I don't give a fuck because they never did right by us anyway. So,
Yeah, I don't want to say. I'll say enough so I don't get sued. So you
Yeah.
just say.
I'm not going to say the name because I was about to.
Yeah, I know.
So it was right at the end when I was about to stop working there because I was pregnant, and he was still working there. But there was this bitch on our nerves. Woo! Fuck that bitch for the rest of her life. If I see you, I'ma still remember your face. But anyway, so it was one particular day, you know, health department comes or whatever, and we're like, okay, you know, Bob Marley. That was the code throughout the restaurant when the health inspectors would come. Bob Marley. So Bob Marley coming. You gotta make sure all the shit is in order or whatever. So, you know, bar's fine. You know, this is fine. This is fine. Well, they come through and, you know, we're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to serve people. You're not allowed to make nothing during that time. So management comes over. We got to close for the rest of the day. So, you know, I'm like, oh, what happened? And I really want to know because I have to, you know, I be eating staff meal and stuff. So I'm like, why we got to close down? What happened? They said the fridge was off by like 2 degrees. But, you know, health inspections are rigid. And I will say this. I'm going to be in all fairness, even though I don't fuck with this place. I will say that a lot of times with the health department, they are not fair when it comes to minority businesses. So they will go out of their way to like frequently visit a spot in order to try to find a violation against them, or they'll like put little bullshit ass violations against them so that, you know, it becomes harder because you are allowed to contest your grade in court and all of that if it comes out the way that you don't want and you know you've been sticking to code. So anyway, I say all that to say they do be fucking with black businesses. But so they said that the temperature, but we've had many other health inspections and we were passed or whatever. They said the temperature on the fridge was like 2 degrees off or something like that. So we have to like by law close for the rest of the day. So I was like, well, nigga, I'm going home. It was one of them slow days anyway. It wasn't the weekend. So I'm getting my stuff together and they're like, don't leave yet. Well, what you mean? Don't leave yet. These niggas bagged a bunch of food up, put it right outside the back door, and then when the health department left, they brought it back in and cooked it. They were like, we not closing because you're not gonna get sick off of it. I was like, bro, I'm never fucking eating here ever. And it was like 2 owners who were fighting because one was like, shut it down, like I'm not trying to get caught up in no bullshit, and the other one was like, I don't give a fuck, we staying open.
Wow. You're gonna laugh when I tell you off camera who became the manager of that restaurant after you left.
Tell me now. Make Abe cut it out.
Mm-mm.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you because of course.
Text it to me.
Well, actually, it's time to go for a break anyway.
Fine.
So I'll tell you during the break.
Okay.
All right. Now more work stories with Jada XD after the break. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I've been working for long enough, and
I've come across a lot of people, a lot of different conversations, different countries. And there's people that have worked for me. And some do still, and some
And we're back talking about, work stories and not cousin jams, because that's what we want to talk about.
Because that's what naturally came up. We've leaned into a different direction. We are intentionally trying to live our lives with ease. So when the wind flows one way, that's the way we going, nigga. We not fighting the wind.
No, because when you force something, it never comes out right.
You get hemorrhoids.
I working in nonprofit, I had to do a lot of cleaning. So are you okay? Are you dying?
I was like, he's really gonna tell this story through me choking. I'm sorry, now I'm laughing and choking. Because she was
Right.
I was like, he's just gonna tweet through it. Goddamn. I'm like, oh my chest. I can't talk.
Sorry.
But you're fine. Somewhere somebody's judging me and saying that's why you shouldn't be smoking anyway.
Oh my gosh. People used to get high literally on the side of the building where I used to work, and before they walk in to go to work. I was like, I get it, slitty.
But weed high?
Yeah.
Even
but let me tell you this one story though.
No, I'm still not. Yeah.
So one of the counselors in one of the buildings I used to work in used to get cop from one of the people that lived in the building, one of the program participants. Not only was she getting hopping drugs, but he was also a loan shark.
What the hell?
So she was taking kickback from
oh, that bitch was wild. Wait, she got caught?
Yeah. She eventually got caught. And it's we knew, because it would be you can tell by interactions, there's something different. There's no progress, there's with the client, there's nothing really happening going on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So Mama got caught up. So when they did the raid of the SWAT, when the SWAT team came
Not
and they
SWAT,
raided the
nigga.
apartment. Oh, I didn't I tell you when the SWAT team came? I was at work early in the morning in the Bronx. The SWAT team came, and I was like, oh God.
I want you to put together a young, top-notch team for me, Dan. You select them, you train them, you mold them.
Well, I'm beginning to like this guy already.
The SWAT.
Yeah, so they found the book, and so that person's name was in the book, listed of what they took out, and hundreds, thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Fetty Wap.
And right, and so, and mind you, the person is a auntie, mother, grandmother.
Was she buying weed or what was she buying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, you never know, because at a particular agency I used to work at, the creative director, the one that got fired,
that you took down. You took down the HW of your office.
It was a village. It took a village. But listen, niggas get what they deserve. That's just that on that. But this nigga used to he was a wild boy. He used to have acid taped to the back of his phone. So he would just have a little foil square, just a little square, and he would have it taped to the back of his phone. So when he was ready to drop a little drop, it was right there for him. But the crazy part about this is the reason that I know is because he told us about it in a Monday morning meeting in the conference room at the conference table.
This is acid, man.
I'm all for like, I feel like people should, I'm pro drugs. I feel like, I don't have to ingest it. I just feel like as long as you're functional and do it safely, you're not harming others or yourself, go for broke.
Do what you need to do.
That's just not something you need to tell people.
This is what I would, that was the pernt. He was the biracial.
Because it is like,
you know what his mother was. And so I was like, sir, you have got to keep some things to yourself. To yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Because he asked me, where I can get some good weed. I was like, I do, but I won't tell you. Have a good day.
And then it's like, what about me makes you think I know where to find acid?
Oh no, he asked me about weed and weed alone.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm not giving that to you either.
Right. Completely again off subject. I am so glad that I don't have to worry about creeping around like the plug anymore, or like having to like, I could just easily go on a do and it comes to my house.
I feel I'm like one of those people that's like, but I do enjoy the dispensary very much. Like very, very, very much. Again, shout out to Gorilla RX Wellness in LA.
Them.
Okay. We talked about them briefly before, but we just have to sing their praises again. Black mother and daughter duo owner duo. See, I'm ingesting some of their product right now. See how good it is.
Yeah. I still have the Agua Fresca I had. That's what I made cannabis Kool-Aid.
I got an iced tea lemonade. I have some amazing strains and edibles. And it's aesthetically pleasing when you walk in there. Like,
it's so cute.
It's so cute. Like, you feel good when you walk in. You know what I'm saying? The merch is cute. Like, shout out to Keek. But we'll get a little bit more into that later. What was my point in telling you that? What was I saying to you? Damn. Well, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I am of the variety. As much as I love a dispensary, I love the nostalgic feeling of copping from the plug. And not you lazy ass plugs who tell me to meet you in the parking lot of the Zaxby's. I'm talking about the niggas who come to my door. I enjoy it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. Well, not only because, now niggas make it more convenient to like,
of course,
to pay.
Yes.
But before it was a hassle. Like, you want me to go get cash?
You're right.
Like, now this shit comes directly out of my account. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
you're right.
And I don't have to worry about like weights being different. I know I'm getting a 3.5 if I choose to purchase that. And I know that there ain't no fentanyl in it. Or something.
That's a big plus.
Like,
that's a big plus.
Listen, niggas in Harlem, like Harlem weed, I swear they spray that shit with Fabuloso.
Did I ever tell you about the white boy who asked me to return his shoes at the post office?
No.
This one is for you. So it was this white boy in my office, and he was irritating as fuck. He irritated everybody. He was one of them white boys that irritated the white people too. Like, you know, he was just like, because he was this little white boy from the suburbs of, you know, the DMV area. And, you know, he was this little dopey white boy who decided to come to another city and rebrand himself and start wearing all black and grow his hair to his shoulders. And he would only wear like, you know, black brunch boots. Like every day, it was like a black t-shirt, black jeans, black brunch boots, and like this
like
shoulder
black
length
wasn't
hair.
a color, it was
right,
the mood.
it was a mood, right? So, but as you talk to him, like the more you talk to him, you realize he's this dopey ass white boy who's just putting on this facade. You know, and he's so introspective and he thinks about things deeply and so forth and so on. So he also drank kombucha every day and collected all the kombucha bottles underneath his desk and wouldn't let you throw them away because he said he was going to create an art piece. But anyway, so one day he's like, hey, are you going to the post office? And I was like, actually, yeah, I do happen to be going to the post office. Why? He was like, you mind taking this box with you for me? And I was like, what is it? Is it like, because I always went to the post office because I was usually sending stuff to clients or like whatever. So he's like, can you mind taking it? And I was like, well, what is that? What client, like what project? Is that for Cadillac or who is this for? And he's like, oh no, it's like some shoes I exchanged and, you know, so I have to return these because they sent me the other pair. He's like, so, you know, you're always going to the post office, so I just figured maybe you could take this with you. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I got you. So I took them shoes and I threw them bitches in the back of my car, and that is where they sat until I donated them to Goodwill. Don't you?
No, you stole his shoes.
I did. Don't you ever in your funky ass, honky ass life ask me to return no motherfucking shoes for you when your legs and your arms and your fingers are capable and you can walk your ass right on across that street to that post office like everybody else up in this motherfucker who has to turn something in for themselves personally. But you just so happen to wonder if I was. Take all that time you spent wondering, you could have been carrying your ass to that motherfucking post office. So instead of getting sassy and being that black lady in there, because I had to do that enough with him, instead of doing all of this and that and getting just very, you know, like Aunt Viv or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, bet. I'm gonna fix your ass. And I put them shoes in the back of my car until I remembered to take them to the Goodwill and donate them. And then, they were in really good condition because I tried to give them away to a couple people first, and they was like, oh man, that's not my size, but those are some nice boots. So I don't know how much them bitches cost, but I know he paid for two pairs of them. He gonna come back to me.
Wow.
He's like, hey, did you return those shoes? Did you turn those shoes into the post office? I was like, yeah, I took them shoes. I didn't tell him where I took. I didn't tell him where I took them. I said, yeah, I took them shoes. And he was like, that's so crazy. I'm like fighting with them. They won't reimburse me my money. I was like, man, that's so crazy. Good luck. Motherfucker.
You looking good, huh? Yeah, but you look better with them boots on. You do it good, huh? Yeah, but you do it better with them boots on.
Our old admin Junique used to tell people all the like white people be like, "Can you send this?" She'd be like, "Is this work related?" No, I'm not doing it.
Okay, is this a project
because
I'm
it's
working
like a
on?
thing like. Because you're not going to get me in the end talking about I was using company such and such to you know.
Nope.
And I'm not show assistant.
I'm not that. Let me tell you about how that is the one and the two. Okay, I don't work for you. I work with you in this capacity, and part of my position is to make sure that all of these files are taken care of. But what I will never be is your errand girl. Never. I will never be your errand girl. This ain't the Devil Wears Prada, nigga. Okay?
I have another Lorraine story.
Sweet Lorraine, go ahead.
Yeah. Lorraine, this is called Running Through the Projects with My Woes.
Okay.
So,
I was running through the 6 with my woes. Yeah. I was running through the 6 with my woes.
Lorraine got high.
Oh.
On K2. And this is when they first moved to the area. Mm-hmm. Now, Lorraine has a very... she's younger. Mm-hmm. And at the time, she was really young. She was 21.
Okay.
Like, fresh. So, already just, young stud with a lot of, steam to blow off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Mama took a couple of hits of that K2.
Oof.
And she just started running. Like, running.
What?
Right. So I'm like on the front porch thing. So I'm just like, where the fuck is she going?
Like Forrest Gump style?
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. So I ran to the end of the road. And when I got there, I thought maybe I'd run to the end of town.
Yeah, running. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going inside. I don't have time for this, whatever. So then she owed somebody in the house money, so they were looking for her. And then I'm like, I don't know where that person is. But then the person's like caseworker, like mandated worker came looking for them. I was like, oh God, now I have to look for this chick because this is some court mandated shit. So and I don't want her to like. There's a lot of repercussions when you miss a lot of court appointed like appointments for your mental health. As you can kind of see that you see played out with like Britney Spears and stuff like that. If you miss some stuff, that it's a really rude and awful what they do. But anyway,
it's not set up for success.
No. So I'm like running, and so like someone I was like, have you seen this girl? Like she ran in there. So I'm running through the projects in the Lower East Side in Chinatown trying to find this girl. And I found her on the rooftop of one of the buildings in Chinatown.
Yeah. How did she get up there?
She climbed the emergency door. And, it didn't sound or anything because, I hate the project.
So K2.
Mm-hmm. Like, turns you into a supervillain.
I was clearly like the Green Goblin.
Yeah, it makes you punch cops, scale buildings and shit.
What was that other shit niggas was? Oh, when I was out there this last time, the hotel, they don't have no smoke. They don't let you smoke nowhere on the street. You got to smoke on the street. So
why don't you just smoke in the bathroom like normal people?
No, I did that too. But I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
What? What you mean?
Yeah.
Bathroom, the room, nigga. I just.
Right. I know.
But sometimes, sometimes I go downstairs just to balance things out, offset things a little bit. So when it was nice, we just all go gather on the side of the hotel or whatever, right off the street. So, there is a crisis, a houseless crisis in Los Angeles and many other places in the United States, and so many individuals will walk by as we would be out there. So this guy walks by and he kind of stops, and I knew what was getting ready to happen. And he was like, "Is that Spice?" And I said, "What?" He's like, "Is that Spice?" And I was like, nah, bro." He was like, oh, that's good shit. Okay. And then he just keeps walking.
Because he knew he was going to bum some off of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what. That's why I was like, he about to ask me for whatever the fuck I got. And I ain't got nothing for you. But wasn't Spice the other shit before K2? Wasn't that the shit you could buy from the smoke shop?
It's the same thing. K2 Spice. What was it? It's like herb. It's like, yeah, spice. It's synthetic cannabinoids. I remember smoking it once back when I was like young and dumb.
I had a homegirl come into town
headache.
and ask me. She was like, let's go get, because we were in the village, drinking and shit. And she was like, let's get some spice from the smoke shop. And I was like, girl, why? When I have weed. Like, what? I'm not doing
why
that.
would I spend extra money? It's right here.
I was like, girl, I don't smoke I don't smoke nothing fake. I'm not smoking nothing out the smoke shop. No. The nigga could sell weed at the smoke shop. I'm still not buying it because I don't trust. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was a lot of like drug activity going on. Like a lot of it was like drug induced at work. Except for when that nigga threw the knife at me. He was just very angry.
Wait, that wasn't drugs?
No.
Was it
Well,
Wallace?
at least I don't think so. No. It was David.
Oh, no.
I gave him his name. No, it was David. He threw a knife at me because he was frustrated with them not moving, because the whole point of that program was to get their own apartment or whatever.
There was something going on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, clearly they in a facility. There's something going on.
Okay,
But
because I was like, you can't be out here throwing knives at me, my nigga. That's what, you can't do that.
Yeah, management. And when I told what happened, they were just kind of like, yeah, okay, well, make sure you write a note about it and put it in the system, and that was that. Like, what I hate about working in nonprofit. I mean, there's no protection at any company that you work for, right? Because the purpose of HR is to protect the company, not the employees. But in nonprofit, it's even more difficult because of the fact that you kind of have a heart and you kind of just accept this kind of behavior because that's how you think it's supposed to be, because it's grind work, it's gritty work. And it's like, no. Not at all. There would be moments where, like this one story, I'll say, before we get off of here, there was a moment where I had stopped working in direct care, right? So at this point, I moved on and to just focus on housing. Mm-hmm. And so I'm working. I done got a promotion. I'm in the main, I'm in the house now. So I'm downtown. I get lattes and blah 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 blah. I'm a non-exempt employee. Ooh. So, or exempt employee, excuse me. So there was this lady, this black woman that comes in, and she's a program participant.
What's her name?
And
Lorraine?
No, I don't know her name.
Let's
I don't
call
know her
her
name at
Lorraine.
all. No, because she was a different person. Let's call her.
But I want to call everybody Lorraine.
Okay, Lorraine. Fine. So Lorraine comes in there and she's barking at like people, like her worker, like her case manager and stuff, like, where's my money? You owe me money. Now, the agency is notorious for miscalculating funds that's owed to program participants, like, and also appropriating funds. Because when I first started working there, like a decade ago, or over a decade ago, they had to fire the finance department because they were embezzling. Exactly. Oh, fuck that story. Well, I'll tell you about Lorraine in a minute. Let me tell you, did I tell you about my last supervisor who stole like $200,000?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, yeah, that one was, the last story was sad. This story is more interesting.
Okay.
So, remember, I was in charge of opening a building. a few years ago.
Yes.
In the Bronx. And it opened. I got everybody moved in for the most part. I left while there was a couple apartments that needed to move in, but I left. I did the bulk of the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, the building opened in July.
Mm-hmm.
And, people were moving in. Not only, it wasn't just a facility for people who live with mental diagnosis or whatever. It was like community too, right? So, with an apartment building, you should think things are set up accounting wise. Like people have to make their deposits to pay their rent and security deposits and all that. None of that accounting shit was set up. So I was taking cashier's checks or whatever, and money orders, certifiable funds, and, putting them in this little envelope safe thing until I made it to my other office, to my main office, which was in Manhattan. So my supervisor would come, every so often in the beginning, he would be there up a lot, but he started trickling down, but he would whenever I see him, I'd be like, well, here's this money. Have you figured out the accounting system yet? He's like, no, we haven't. I have to manually put it in, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm like, well, I don't want to be responsible for these people's rent money. And, and tenants are asking, can you cash these checks, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just put you in here.
Right.
Right. Above my pay grade. So he would collect all the money, take it away. Don't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Months go by. One of the tenants it's October. You still haven't cashed my check from, the first time I moved in. When I first moved in, what gives? I'm like, I don't know. She was like, well, the money's still in there, but I'm getting tempted to use it because that's thousands of dollars I could have used on the trip. Right. So, whatever. I sensed some bullshit more in the company and I should have known, and I leave. Fast forward, I get a call from my friend who also works there. I was like, girl, so-and-so got fired, our supervisor. Like, why? She's like, you remember all them rent checks that you used to send? I was like, uh-huh. He was like, well, everybody got a bill. They finally did the accounting thing, and everybody got a bill of $10,000 plus. And so niggas was like, why would we get this bill? We've been paying our rent. Where's the money? Now, because the person or the director was making us certifiable funds or money orders, it made it difficult to trace. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were not black.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's scandalous.
Yeah, but $200K. But also the problem was they put a whole bunch of people at risk who have Section 8 and other housing vouchers and stuff. So some of that stuff got canceled.
Oh no, this nigga was fucking up people. You see how they do, fucking up people's lives, in droves. In droves. You fucked up a whole. So how did that work? Because clearly they had to be responsible for that. So who reimbursed?
I have no clue what happened after that, because right after I got told that story, they had to restructure everything, and also my friend doesn't work there anymore. So, but yeah, they had to scramble.
See, this is why you need an online portal.
Yeah, and that was what I was trying to force, because I was like, this shit is funny style. But I always knew you're not going to put that money shit on me. Y'all not going to do this. And thankfully I left that job because, I had greater things coming to me.
Absolutely.
But I know. People are evil. And you fucking with people's mental states and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right.
And it makes it for a toxic work environment, because people are coming to you hi, XD, what's going on?
See, and people don't, and management never handles that kind of stuff, right? Because they get all awkward. They don't know how to handle anything. I told you about that when I had to chop that white boy in the throat. when I worked at that restaurant. I told you about that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, child. I could have sworn I told that story on here.
Maybe. I don't remember.
This beat is so rich.
Big old tall white boy. I worked at a very popular Cajun restaurant in Houston while I was in school. So I basically, we had to take our server cards and swipe them, and then you put in the table number, and then you put in the order for your table, and it goes to the kitchen. So I get to a computer, swipe my card, and I start putting my table's order in. This big white boy named Jeff comes and bumps me out the way and swipes his card, which cancels out everything I'm doing and puts his information in. So I was like, quit playing. Like, you know, I'm thinking he's playing around or whatever. I'm like, quit playing, move. So I swipe my thing again and get started again. This nigga does it again. And so I was like, and we don't have no relationship like that, like for him to be playing with me like that. But, you know, also when you work in the service industry, like people play around a lot, you know, like you find ways to find joy in these hellish environments. But I'm like, me and you we don't vibe like that, because I always got January 6th vibes from him anyway. So I'm like, we don't even really play around like that. So I'm like, stop playing. Like, so he does it again. And so I said, stop fucking playing with me. Like, I am trying to get my fucking table's order and quit. Like, I'm not playing with you. This nigga looks me in my face, and I told you my father's rule that he told me very young. Somebody comes in your bubble, it is the equivalent of them hitting you. And you may do what you need to do. So this nigga bends down. He's like your height. Gets in my face, and he was like, you don't have to be such a bitch about it.
Who you calling a bitch?
What?
I said, what you call me? And he goes to say it again, and I took my fist and whopped him right in his fucking throat, right here, so that he lost, you know, he lost the breath and started flopping around on the floor like a fucking fish. And I was like, you ain't gonna call nobody else a bitch. And then management starts scurrying like roaches, pull me into the office. But I'm like, now how am I the one back here?
Now why am I in
They're like, because you're on the floor. You're on the floor. You can't hit people on the floor. I was like, I just chopped him because he kept calling me a bitch in my face, and he kept bumping me out of the way. I was like, why don't y'all go have a conversation with him? Oh, you can't, because that nigga can't talk right now.
That's what they get. Who you called a bitch?
And because they reviewed the cameras and he kept bumping me, in order for them to save their own ass, they couldn't fire me. So they just suspended us both.
Listen, I would have sued everybody.
I was young and in school and broke and working like 75 jobs at the time. I didn't have nobody to sue nobody. I was like, you gonna take 3 shifts from me? Fuck y'all. I was like, and I'd do it again. And I'd do it again. You don't know how
Let's end on that note.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Cousin Jams turned into work stories, because when the vibes align,
They just align.
they align.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure to watch the video version of this on Patreon. It's included with your Plus subscription for $7. You get everything. Subscribe to us on YouTube. More things coming. Follow us on social media. Join the Discord. Fun things happening there. And we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.